I think for those that wanted to use it as a bludgeon, it's easier when you slap the word addict onto it. It made me a lot easier target for the Don Juniors of the world, the Marjorie Taylor Greens of the world, just because of their inherent kind of meanness about things. But I'm not a victim here. I was a crack addict. I wrote about it. I was transparent about it. I'm not naive to the idea that somehow...
I like that perspective. I like the idea of like, listen, there are mean people out of it that were opportunistic around my problems, but at the end of the day, my problem is my problem. All I can really do is control my end of the deal here. So as mean as people are, as opportunistic as people are about my flaws and my struggles, I'm the one that has it. So I have to be the one to take responsibility for it and just change what I can change. Because a lot of people get themselves locked into like a victim complex, and then they'll just fail forever. You'll never be able to lock yourself out of it. And you don't want to be that person that has a problem, and like, even if you only have control of 10%, you don't want to be the kind of person that's like, oh, nothing I could do, blah, blah, blah. You got to try to do your best you can. Oftentimes, you're at least 60% of your own problem. So just control what you can control.
That would be something that anyone or everyone would be able to fully comprehend and have empathy for. We're lacking empathy across the board.
Absolutely. It's so interesting. In politics, there's empathy fatigue, and I understand it. I feel like as people, as a society, we have like less money, and a lot of that money gets like put into the top, but then a lot of that money gets misappropriated into some welfare programs too. So I understand it. And there's definitely empathy fatigue from like 2020, 2022. But a society without empathy is horrifically dead. Like, you will die. And we can do a really basic assessment of like, how does that work? It's just like teachers. I understand they get paid, but it's like teaching somebody something. If you don't have empathy, if you don't care about other people, let's say you come up with a new trick, and that trick is when you snap, you don't shit your pants. It's an incredible trick, but everybody else is walking around their pants, they stink, there's disease everywhere, and you just go and you can hold your shit for an hour. But if you can't just snap, you have to do a special type of snap frequency. Like the poo sound from South Park? It's the poo sound in reverse. It's it's the sphincter sucker. It's a tightener. If you have empathy, you could teach other people how to not shit their pants, and society will be better, just on the foundation of wanting to be a nicer person. If you have a society without empathy, you're just gonna walk around and be like, I'm not shitting my pants, and everybody else is shitting their pants, and then they're gonna kill you because they're jealous that you're not shitting your pants. And so like, that's why, as silly as a comparison as that might have been, we desperately need empathy in the world. You need to do nice things for people to move society forward. If I knew how to make fire and you didn't, and I'm just like, yeah, let me teach you to make fire. Kindness and empathy has driven society forward. Which society do you think is going to move forward? The society where everybody knows how to make fire, or the society where one person holds fire over the rest of the society and also doesn't shit their pants? It's a very real thing. Empathy is a fantastic mover of society. Again, you got to make sure you're not too overly empathetic. There are going to be people who take advantage of things, but instead of taking it away for everybody, you should just try to functionally make sure people aren't taking advantage of their situation.